Your woman loves a real man, he said, then counted teeth. While she counted zeros. In her secret account, million views. What do you do when the life you built crumbles in a single, searing moment? I was sipping wine at a candlelit bistro, the kind Emily loved, when her laughter from across the room sliced through the air. Too bright, too intimate, not meant for me. Who was the man leaning close, his hand brushing hers? My pulse quickened as I watched, a stranger in my own marriage. Was this the secret she'd been hiding behind her late-night meetings? Her blue dress clung to her like a lie, and the way she tossed her hair screamed defiance. Then, his eyes met mine, bold, taunting, as if he knew something I didn't. What game was she playing? The air grew thick with unspoken truths, every clink of glass a countdown to chaos. I could have stormed over, demanded answers, but I sat, frozen, heart pounding. This wasn't just a dinner. It was a trap, a stage, and I was about to learn the cost of loving someone who'd already left. The night promised revelations I wasn't sure I could bear. But one thing was clear. Whatever came next would unravel everything I thought I knew. His hand was still warm when he released hers. The silence between them snapped like glass under strain. The bistro, once alive with soft clinks of spoons and hushed chatter, suddenly felt like a theatre, and I was the main act. Across the table, the man leaned back, flashed a smug grin, and said it without a pause. Your wife is incredible. We've met countless times, and she's shown me parts of her you'll never see. My hands stayed steady. I didn't grab the butter, knife. I didn't shout or flip the table like some low-budget soap opera. I locked eyes with that jerk, nodded slowly, and said with a calm that shocked even me, "Thanks for the truth. She's yours now." She'd just returned from the restroom, heels clicking like thunder on tile. Her sleek blue dress still swayed as she caught my last words. That cocky smile she always wore when she thought she held the deck. It vanished. Her face turned to ice. And what followed, no one predicted. She stood there, stunned for a moment. Then she snapped her fingers in my face, snapped and snarled. What the hell does that mean? Jake, that's my name. Jake Carter. 38. Engineer, loyal husband, once. I looked up at her slowly. I wanted to see it in her eyes. Guilt, fear, something real. But no, just annoyance, like I'd spilled coffee on her prized dress. You want to play victim now? She spat, pointing at the man across the table. You tailed me here? Are you crazy? Tailed you? I chuckled. You used my card to book this place. Fool. I stood. The whole bistro watched now. I didn't care. Let them stare. This all began 4 months ago, maybe 5. Her name's Emily. Emily Rose Carter. She used to be this warm, quirky girl who wore baggy sweatshirts and binged sci-fi flicks under a quilt with me. That version died last year, replaced by someone colder, sharper, meaner. Her sarcasm grew biting. Compliments vanished. Soon all she did was criticize, belittle, or tell me to man up. At first, I blamed work, stress, life, whatever excuses husbands use to dodge the truth behind their own walls. Then came the late-night shifts that didn't add up. Lipstick she never wore before. Underwear I never saw until I found the receipts. And worst, the blank stare when I kissed her goodbye each morning, like I was just a chair in the room. Something she didn't notice anymore. Back in the bistro, she tried to brush it off. Reached for my arm like this wasn't real. Come on, honey, you're overreacting. This guy, she waved at him with a flick of her wrist. He's nothing, just a fling. It meant nothing. He scoffed. You said you loved me. Shut the hell up, Dylan, she snapped, turning on him with venom in her eyes. You swore you'd keep quiet, and there it was. Proof. No dodging. No lies to hide the lies. You told him you loved him, I said slowly, each word bitter as bile. Emily blinked. No, I didn't mean it. Look, you've been distant, Jake. You've been cold, You barely see me anymore. What was I supposed to do? Wait forever for you to care I exist? That one stung, deeper than the rest. But I didn't waver. I turned to Dylan. Take her. What? Emily gasped. I said, take her. She's yours now. I'm done. She stepped forward, her face a mix of shock and fury. You don't get to decide that, Jake. You think you can ditch me in front of some diner crowd and strut off like a saint. This isn't a damn film. No, it wasn't. It was a disaster. One she built. When I finally saw it for what it was, then it happened. Dylan stood too, reached for her hand. Let's go. But she didn't budge. Her eyes flicked between us. Her voice dropped. Wait, you're serious? You're actually leaving me? For once, I said, stepping past her. Yeah, and you know what? You two are perfect for each other. Then I walked out, didn't look back. But that night, I didn't go home. I went to my brother's place, and what I found in my inbox when I checked my email from his spare room changed everything. It wasn't over. Not by a mile. I sat in my brother's dimly lit spare room. The hum of his old AC droned through the walls like a reminder I wasn't home. I hadn't slept. How could I? My wife. Scratch that. Emily had played me for a chump for who knows how long. And tonight, in front of a guy who'd probably seen her more bare than I had in 6 months, I told her she was someone else's burden now. But my gut wouldn't settle. So, I opened my laptop. Wish I hadn't. 3 emails waited, all from one. Sender, shadow@protonmail.com. No subject, just a timestamp and a digital gut punch. The first email had screenshots, photos from what looked like a phone camera, grainy, but clear. Emily bent over the hood of a truck in our garage. At 1:47 a.m., her dress was hiked up, her stiletto still on. And behind her, not Dylan, someone else. Different tattoos, different hands, different damn guy. My blood ran cold. The second email had a video, shaky, like someone hid in shrubs or behind a gate. You could hear them whispering, laughing, moaning. I didn't hit play. I couldn't. The third email was the worst. A Word doc attached. I opened it. A list. No. Title. Just dates. Times. Places. With names. Some I didn't know, some I did. My colleague's name was there. My damn boss's name was there. 6 men. Maybe more. The doc ended with a note. She doesn't give a damn about you. Thought you should know. I couldn't breathe. My chest tightened like a vice was crushing my ribs. I stood too fast, knocked, over the chair, nearly tripped over my backpack. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. I wanted to break something. But I couldn't move, just sat back down and stared at that list like it was a tombstone. How do you process that? It wasn't just betrayal. It was a damn annihilation. My marriage, my pride, my memories, all crushed to hell in 3 anonymous emails. Around 4 a.m., my brother Luke knocked. You okay, man? He asked, voice rough with sleep. I looked at him, hollow. You were right. He sighed, stepped in, sat on the bed's edge. About what, Emily? Luke had warned me before. Said she was a scheming piece of work. Said she had that vibe, the kind some women have when loyalty's just a tool they use when it fits. I brushed it off. I loved her. She was my wife. We had history. That meant something, didn't it? Sorry, man. Luke muttered. What happened? I turned the laptop to him. He didn't flinch either. Didn't need to. After a minute, he closed the lid. What now? That was the question, wasn't it? What do you do when the woman you loved, trusted, gave everything to turns, out to be the mastermind of your downfall? I don't know yet, I whispered. But this isn't over. He nodded, stood, clapped my shoulder. Whatever you need, I'm here. And I believed him because Luke never lied to me, unlike her. That morning, I showered, dressed, and left before the sun was up. I wasn't going to Emily's. I was going to my lawyer's. I hadn't seen Emily since that night at the bistro. Figured she'd try calling, texting, maybe crying, but nothing, not a damn thing. And part of me, the dumb part, hoped she would. Not because I wanted her back, but because I wanted to see her squirm, wanted to hear her confess. But she didn't reach out. She just vanished until she appeared in court. When I told my lawyer, Ethan Reed, everything, every screenshot, email, lie, he nodded slowly, like he'd seen this 100 times. Don't worry, he said. We'll drown her in legal filings before she finds a new place. We filed divorce papers that day. Adultery, multiple counts, with visual proof. 2 days later, Emily's name lit up my phone. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail, her tone icy, casual, like we were picking dinner plans. Jake, I saw the papers, real mature. You could have talked to me before dragging in lawyers. I'll be at the hearing. Don't think you're getting everything. The hearing? I didn't expect her to show, but she strolled in 10 minutes late, oversized sunglasses, tight grey dress like she was at a gala, not our marriage's burial. Dylan wasn't with her. No one was. But she smiled. Walked in like she owned the place, like she hadn't torched our vows with every guy who gave her. A glance, and when she sat across the courtroom, she waved at me. Waved. The judge called us up, asked routine questions. Ethan did the talking. Emily had her own lawyer, a woman named Laura Hayes, polished, fake warm, with eyes like a shark. They tried to flip it, said I'd been emotionally distant, neglectful, work-obsessed, that Emily was lonely, unsupported, that her flings were cries for help, not cheating. I nearly laughed. Instead, I handed the judge a USB with the files from those emails, the list, photos, receipts. Ethan presented it with the cold precision of a man who'd seen every kind of betrayal. Emily's smile faltered. Her lawyer objected, claiming the evidence was unverified, possibly tampered. The judge leaned forward. Mrs. Carter, are you denying these are photos and messages between you and multiple men while married? Emily didn't answer right away. Her jaw clenched. Then she said, I don't see how that's relevant to asset division. That was the moment I knew. She had no shame, no remorse, no guilt. She wasn't sorry, just mad she got caught. After the session, we were dismissed to await the next hearing. I passed her on my way out, and she grabbed my arm. You think shaming me will feel good? She hissed through gritted teeth. I stopped, looked her in the eyes. No, I said, but watching you lose it all might do the trick. Then I walked out. Didn't, go straight home. Parked by the lake, stared at the dark water. My phone buzzed, Luke checking in. I ignored it. My head was too loud. This wasn't just a divorce, it was a battle, and I was done playing defense. Time to go on the attack, because Emily had one more secret she thought I didn't know, and I was going to expose it next. 3 days after the hearing, I drove back to our house. My house, technically. Emily never paid a cent toward the mortgage. She always said she contributed other ways, which I guess meant cozying up in other people's beds. But I wasn't there to fight. I was there to collect what was mine and see what she'd left. The place was a wreck. Empty whiskey bottles on the counter, a scarf draped over the stair rail, and the faint whiff of some overpriced incense she'd light after. Well, after doing things she wanted to feel less guilty about. She'd taken the good speakers, the cutlery, some of my books too, just to be spiteful. But she didn't take the lockbox hidden under the floorboard in the guest closet, one I'd forgotten I'd stashed there. Inside, a burner phone. I'd bought it 2 years ago for a project in Seattle. Needed to keep work calls separate. Never tossed it. Forgot it existed. But when I powered it on, the battery flickered alive, and what I saw next nearly floored me. 23 unread texts, all from one number. All in the last 2 months. The contact was saved as K. The first message read, "Miss your vibe today, babe." The next, "Still thinking about Friday?" You were unreal. Send a pic. Another. You free this weekend? My wife's at her mum's again. Let's make the room shake. It hit me like a freight train. Emily wasn't just cheating. She was someone's side piece. Some married guy. Kay had been sneaking around with her like she was the cherry on a dull Sunday. I kept scrolling, anger simmering under my skin. Screenshots, selfies, voice notes where Emily purred his name. Not Dylan's, not anyone I knew. This was someone else entirely, and in one text, she said it. Jake's getting nosy. Think I'll pick a fight and stay at my aunt's this weekend. That gives us 3 nights. Bring the good scotch. I wanted to smash the phone, but I didn't. I screenshotted everything, emailed it all to myself. Evidence, ammo, truth. But more than anything, I wanted to know who Kay was. I called Luke, told him everything. He told me to bring the phone. Luke knows people, ex-Navy, has buddies who can dig. By night's end, we had a name. Kevin Morrow, local realtor, owned 3 agencies in town, married, 2 kids. Public Facebook with pics of him coaching soccer and hugging his smiling wife like he wasn't hiding a beast behind that polished grin. Emily had been sleeping with a married father of 2, and he looked like the type who'd do anything to guard his image. The next day, I messaged Kevin. No threats, no flair, just, I know about you and Emily. Let's talk quietly before your wife learns the hard way. He didn't reply for hours. Then, finally, where? We met at an empty warehouse lot on the east side. Real cloak and dagger vibe. He rolled up in a Lexus, hair gelled, gold ring still on his finger. I stood there, arms crossed, as he stepped out. Jake Carter, he asked. I nodded, and then, without skipping a beat, he said, Your wife's incredible. We've met countless times, and she's shown me parts of her you'll never see. That was it. The voice from the bistro, the man who'd said it that night. I didn't blink. Not this time. As Emily walked up behind him, heels clicking, same. Blue dress as before. I turned to him and said, Thanks for the truth. She's yours now. Her smile collapsed, and what followed, no one saw coming. Emily's smile died so fast, it was like someone yanked the plug on her face. She QCD wasn't expecting me. Sure as hell wasn't expecting him to be here with me. Kevin, her secret lover, the married realtor she thought was her jackpot. And she definitely didn't expect me to play it this cool. I watched her eyes bounce from me to Kevin, like her mind was short-circuiting under the strain. Her mouth opened, but nothing came out at first, just air and guilt. What the hell is this? She finally spat, stepping between us like she'd walked, into a snare, which she had. Kevin just stood there, arms crossed, silent, his face blank like a gambler with a bad hand. I answered, calm and firm. This is closure. She let out a brittle laugh, but her voice cracked halfway. What did you do, Jake? You really trying to trap me with what? Some couples counselling in a damn warehouse lot. I didn't call him, I said, nodding to Kevin. He came on his own. Wanted to clear some things up. Emily spun to him. Kevin, what the hell are you doing? I told you not to talk to him. His jaw tightened. You lied to me, said you were getting divorced. She rolled her eyes. I am getting divorced. He held up his phone, scrolled, then showed her the screen. You said I was the only one. You think I wouldn't check? I didn't know what was on that phone. But whatever it was, it drained the colour from her face. I didn't mean it like that, she stammered. Cut the crap, I snapped, stepping closer. You've been running around with every guy who winks at you. Dylan was just the opener. Kevin was your main dish. But who the hell were the others, huh? The bartender, my colleague, or just the sides? Her face twisted into a sneer. You don't get to judge me. You ignored me for months, Jake. Buried in work. Treated me like a damn housemate. What did you expect me to do? Waste away waiting for your crumbs? Kevin stepped forward. You used me. Emily turned on him, voice dripping. Venom. Oh, don't act innocent now. You were using me too. Loved having someone who didn't bug you about the kids or the mortgage. You loved it. He didn't deny it. But then came the moment none of us expected. A voice cut through the shadows. She's right. You both loved it. We turned. A woman stepped out from behind a steel beam. Petite, brunette, livid. It was Kevin's wife. Emily gasped. Sarah, Kevin whispered, eyes wide. Sarah held up her phone, camera still rolling. I followed him, she said, staring down her husband. He's been off for weeks, and when I saw the text about a quiet meeting, I knew it was her. Again. Emily backed up like she faced a loaded rifle. Sarah, please. Slap. The sound rang like a gunshot across the lot. Sarah didn't hesitate. She struck Emily so hard her necklace flew off. Stay the hell away from my family, Sarah hissed, finger in her face. You're not just you're a leech. Emily clutched her cheek, teary but defiant. You think he didn't chase me? You think your perfect husband wasn't begging me to? Shut up, I said, stepping between them. You've done enough. Sarah turned to me. I'm pressing charges. I nodded. Good, I'll testify. Kevin stood frozen, mouth agape, as Sarah stormed back to her car. She didn't glance at him. Emily broke down. Jake, please don't let this get worse. We can talk, can't we? No, I said. You don't talk. You lie. Remember. She looked desperate now. Not because she loved me, but because her world was crumbling. I walked away. This wasn't just about divorce anymore. It was about payback. I didn't sleep that night. Again. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Emily's face. First smug, then furious, then panicked. That last look gave me a flicker of satisfaction, but it wasn't enough. Not after all she'd done. Not after she stared me down and lied repeatedly. Not after she played victim, manipulated two families, and wore her betrayal like cologne. I wanted her to feel it, not just the fallout, the humiliation. I opened my laptop. In that email with the list of names, the anonymous one, there was something I'd overlooked before, a Google Drive link. I clicked it. Hundreds of files, videos, screenshots, audio clips, all Emily. Some labeled by name, others by date. One folder caught my eye. Hotel Drake footage, room 312. I didn't open the video, didn't need to, but I downloaded everything. Then I called someone I hadn't talked to in years, Ryan Tate. We went to college together. Now he ran a big YouTube channel exposing cheaters, frauds, fake influencers. His channel had over 2 million subscribers. His tagline, "We don't ruin people, we just show the truth." I messaged him, got a real story. I've got footage, names, timelines, a web of lies that'll blow your mind. It's about a woman who wrecked 5 lives pretending to be faithful. I'll give you everything. No edits. Just keep my name out. He replied in 5 minutes. Call me. We talked 2 hours. I laid out the players, the lies, the footage, the married man, the warehouse showdown, even the slap. He didn't buy it at first, but when I sent the folder link, he went quiet. 15 minutes later, he said, "This is insane. You sure you want this out there?" Her name stays in. Mine stays out. Deal. I could hear his smirk through the phone. We set the release for the next Friday. He needed time to edit, blur faces, check legalities, but promised the premiere would hit hard. That gave me time to prep for the next court session. Emily still thought she could win. She'd filed for alimony, claiming I'd emotionally neglected her and left her homeless. The nerve of that woman could make a saint swear. Ethan, my lawyer, nearly choked on his water when he saw the papers. She wants how much monthly? 5 grand, I said. He blinked. She thinks cheating plus public shame equals a payout. She thinks she's untouchable. Ethan grinned. Let's fix that. The next day, I filed a motion to include her other activities as grounds to deny spousal support, plus a restraining order to keep her out of my house, office, anywhere near me. When Emily got served the new papers, she showed up outside my office. screaming like a banshee. I didn't go down, but my assistant recorded it from the 4th floor. She ranted about vengeance. How could you do this? You're nothing without me. Security hauled her off. 2 days later, the video dropped. Ryan's channel released the expose titled, "The Woman Who Fooled 5 Men and Got Caught on Camera." It opened with Emily laughing, sipping vodka in a hotel room. It ended with her voiceover saying, "My husband's too clueless to ever figure this out." Comments poured in. Thousands tagged her socials. Her Twitter went private, then vanished. Kevin's wife posted a Reels video confirming the story. It hit 4 million views overnight. People made memes of Emily's face. She wasn't just exposed, she was obliterated. I didn't smile, didn't celebrate. Just leaned back in my chair and exhaled for the first time in weeks. But it wasn't over, because Emily had one last card to play. Just when I thought Emily was done, she came back like a wounded animal, cornered, desperate, and deadlier than ever. It started with a letter, not an email, not a text, a handwritten letter in a lavender envelope with my name in that familiar script I once found charming. It arrived at my office. My assistant slid it across my desk, half grinning. She knew who sent it. I opened it, expecting apologies, maybe manipulation. What I got was worse. Think your little YouTube stunt was smart. Think again. I know things, too, about you, your deals, your clients. Keep pushing, Jake, and you'll regret it. Want to ruin my life? I'll make sure you never recover yours. It ended with a lipstick print. She was unraveling, but still fighting dirty. I handed the letter to Ethan the next morning. He read it once, then again, then raised an eyebrow. Is she threatening blackmail? She's threatening something. She knows about the merger with Clarkson Corp. It's sensitive. If she leaks it, it could tank the deal. He leaned back. She's not just petty, she's reckless. He was right. The second she made it openly hostile, we had grounds for stronger legal action. Ethan filed an emergency hearing request. This time, not just for denying alimony, but for a restraining order and defamation clause. But Emily wasn't done. That night, my mum called, sobbing. Said Emily showed up at her house, at my mother's house, crying, pleading, claiming I framed her, used her, staged the video as revenge for not wanting kids. Kids. Emily never wanted kids. Made that clear years ago. The idea she'd throw that lie at my mum was beyond vile. Mum, don't believe her. I know, she said, but she was trembling, Jake, crying like she was broken. She's acting. It's all her performance. I hung up and drove to my mum's. By the time I arrived, Emily was gone, but the scent of her perfume lingered on the porch chair. That's when I knew I had to end this, not just legally, but publicly. The next day, I contacted Ryan again. Can we do a follow-up? He replied instantly. Let's go bigger. We set up a full interview. Face blurred, voice changed, but my story, every ugly, heartbreaking, maddening piece, would air. This time, we'd include the letter, the visit to my mum's, the business threats. When the episode dropped, titled The Aftermath, Her Next Move Will Stun You, it exploded. People were appalled. Even viewers who thought I'd gone too far in. The first video now backed me fully. Emily went silent. No socials, no statements. Nothing until the courtroom again. This time, she didn't wear blue. She came in all white, hair in a tight ponytail, no makeup, playing the mourning widow of a marriage she killed. Her lawyer tried to claim emotional trauma, that she was the true victim, that online harassment had ruined her life. The judge didn't flinch. She read the letter aloud in court, then asked Emily, "Did you write this?" Emily stayed silent. "Mrs. Carter, yes or no?" Emily finally whispered, "Yes." And that was it. Restraining order granted. Alimony denied. Defamation claim dismissed on grounds of truth. Divorce finalized that day. As I left the courtroom, Emily didn't look at me, but I looked at her. And for the first time since this nightmare began, I didn't feel hate. I felt nothing. The battle was over. Almost. 3 weeks after the final hearing, I stood in front of my bathroom mirror and barely recognized the man staring back. Not because I looked older, though I did. Not because the stress had etched lines around my eyes, but because I finally looked free. No more games, no lies, no waking up wondering if the person beside me loved me or was playing me. Emily was gone for good. I didn't see her again. She moved out of state, per Luke, who heard she was job hunting elsewhere. Her family didn't call. Not one apology, not one explanation. Good, because if she called now, I wouldn't answer. I'd finally crossed from rage to peace. But it wasn't quick. It wasn't easy. The nights after the courtroom win were still dark. I'd stare at the ceiling, replaying every word she said, every sign I missed, every lie I swallowed to keep the dream of us alive. God, I was naive. I kept thinking about that night, when Kevin looked me in the eye and said, "Your wife's incredible. We've met countless times." I'd hated him for it. But now I saw he'd done me a favor. He told the truth, showed me who she was, and instead of exploding or collapsing, I walked away. That moment changed everything. When I said, "She's yours now," I meant it. She wasn't mine anymore, not the woman I married, not the one who vowed forever. That version died long ago. All that remained was a shadow in blue heels and a toxic smile. But I survived her, and, more, I rebuilt. The interview with Ryan went viral. Over 20 million views in a month. And no, I didn't do it for clout. I did it because men like me rarely get to speak without being mocked. We're told to toughen up, move on, handle it quietly. I refused silence. Thousands of messages flooded in. Men, women, even kids, thanking me for telling the truth. No sugarcoating, no pretense. It reminded me of something simple. Pain only wins if you bury it. Today, I live alone, and for the first time in years, I'm fine with that. I wake up in a bed I bought, in a home I built, with no one pretending, no one lying beside me, no one slipping out to meet strangers while I worked late to fund trips we never took. My brother and I hang out more. I reconnected with friends I'd ignored while drowning in Emily's chaos. And sometimes, I laugh again. Real laughter. The kind not laced with bitterness. Do I believe in love again? Maybe. But if it comes, it'll be real. No more chasing red flags and calling them flowers. No more falling for crocodile tears and twisted tales. I know better now. So, if you're reading this, maybe you're in it now. Maybe your partner's lying, gaslighting, cheating while smiling in your face. Leave, not because they don't deserve you, but because you deserve peace. You deserve mornings without doubt, nights without checking their phone. You deserve love that isn't a charade or a scheme. Take it from me. I walked through hell and came out clean. Emily, she'll keep doing what she does. But me, I'm finally free. Betrayal is a blade that cuts deepest when wielded by those we trust, yet it sharpens our resolve to reclaim our truth. Emily's web of lies, spun with Dylan and Kevin, exposed a reality I couldn't ignore. Love can blind, but pain awakens. The lesson: never let loyalty chain you to someone who thrives on deceit. Protect your peace fiercely, but don't let bitterness seal your heart. My advice is to walk away from those who betray, not to wound them, but to free yourself. For me, the silence after the storm became a canvas for rebuilding, anchored by my brother's unwavering support. To anyone caught in the wreckage of a lover's falsehoods, know this: you are not their choices. You are the strength that rises from their chaos. Craft a life where trust is earned, not assumed, and where your worth shines independent of their shadows. The peace I found wasn't in Emily's downfall, but in the quiet moments where I rediscovered my own voice. Let betrayal be a teacher, not a tomb. The path forward, paved with hard-won clarity, is yours to walk, unburdened, unbroken, and fiercely alive.